Algaith Group is communicating this incident in order for all employees to be aware of the incident details, root cause, and corrective actions in order to learn and prevent or reduce likelihood of recurrence of the same event. Motor vehicle crash. Light vehicles at BAB Field near BB 1505. What happened? While an AON operator was heading back to the office, he encountered an intersection where he noticed another vehicle working for ADNOC Drilling coming from the opposite direction. Upon applying the brake, the car drifted and hit the ADNOC Drilling vehicle. Both the driver's passengers escaped unhurt. However, the vehicle sustained damage. Why it happened? Inadequate preventative maintenance. Lack of maintenance of the tracks lead to the sand accumulation at the intersection hampering visibility of incoming vehicle. Inadequate enforcement of PSP. Daily check was not effectively implemented that lead to inadequate desert driving accessories like flagpole. Inadequate practice of skill. Both the drivers did not adjust their speed at the intersection and as per the road condition, failing to employ their defensive driving skills. Lessons learned. Conduct refresher awareness session to all the drivers on defensive driving techniques, safe driving practices while driving off-road/desert roads. Daily inspection of the vehicle has to be enforced and assured by spot checks conducted by the Asset HSE team contractor transport team to ensure effective monitoring of vehicles plying the field, ensuring minimum ADNOC road safety requirement. Proposed to review the road transport operations safety standard roads and paving, design and construction specification to add the sand road establishment guidelines maintenance/inspection frequencies. Ensure that periodic maintenance of the gatch and sand tracks are conducted periodically. Assistant driller finger injury during tripping operation at drilling rig AD 31 in Abu al-Abayad field. What happened? During pulling out of hole, while pulling hawk jaw towards drill pipe, DP, stand to break out, the assistant driller sustained injuries in his right hand middle and index fingers due to caught in between DP stand and the hawk jaw control panel cover. The injured person was provided first aid by rig medic and sent to ADNOC site clinic. From there he was referred to hospital for further assessment. Why it happened? Inadequate planning or risk assessment performed. A green hat was involved in the task of handling the hawk jaw and to engage it with the drill string. JSA was not discussed in detail during TBT, including the technique of guiding the hawk jaw. Inadequate implementation of procedure. Crew did not follow the MOC procedure while replacing rig's original iron roughneck with the hawk jaw. Inadequate assessment of needs risks. OEM recommendations were not considered while installing the hawk jaw, which resulted in improper placement of the hawk jaw. Inadequate horizontal communication between peers. The assistant diller and the green hat floorman did not communicate with each other while pulling the hawk jaw towards the DP stand. Lessons learned. Review current rig dynamic pinch point register and identify pinch points related to hawk jaw movements. Dynamic pinch point register to be taken as supporting document while preparing tasks in EWMS. Review all tubular handling JSAs to ensure control measures are aligned with the OEM procedures. Conduct survey for all land rigs to assess the current hawk jaw conditions and develop specific remedial action for each rig. Limit the movement of rig personnel from one rig to another rig to control the numbers of green hats. Ensure MOC processes is following in case of installation of new equipment or replacement any of them if an equipment is from different manufacturer and model. Condensate pump fire at compressor station 1, CS1. at gas compression station 1 in BAB field. What happened? While conducting routine morning surveillance in the vicinity of condensate pump at CS1, the operations technician observed smoke from the drive end of the condensate pump, 11-31 P3701. The operator immediately shut down the pump after noticing some sparks and small flame. He immediately extinguished it using nearby fire extinguisher. No injuries were reported due to this incident and there was no impact to the facility or production. Why it happened? Inadequate technical design. FCV was oversized, and the material was not appropriate, which resulted in poor control performance of spillback control valve. Inadequate assessment of needs risks. Continuous flow and discharge fluctuations were attributed to passing of FCV and improper configuration of controllers. Inadequate implementation of procedure, operating the pump beyond normal limits, runtime, resulted in excessive wear and tear. Inadequate oversight. Main pump, P3702, was under repair for extended period, greater than or equal to 1 year. Standby pump was not available. Learnings not embedded. No timely actions on recommendations from 2022 RCA. On the similar issues, lessons learned. Ensure strict compliance to the OEM recommendations for routine maintenance and bearing replacements of the condensate pumps. Review the current operating parameters and revise the pump rate and protection barriers, including review of the pump design change. Ensure close monitoring of pumps parameters for safe operating envelope. Ensure condensate pumps are registered part of CPAD for online condition monitoring. Ensure interchangeable cycle mode between pumps and the critical equipment. Conduct periodic performance review of the service providers and take necessary action as required. Ensure the actions from Integrity RCA's investigation are tracked and closed on time. Trailer rollover at Hamimasab Blacktop Road. What happened? While proceeding to the rig AD-56 to deliver material, potassium chloride jumbo bags, a contractor trailer rolled over on Hamimasab Blacktop Road near a SAB contractor's camp. The incident resulted in injury to the driver and damage to the trailer jumbo bags. The injured person was taken to hospital for assessment and necessary treatment. Why it happened? Inadequate identification of road hazards. The T-junction where Gatch access way meets the blacktop has blind spots due to trees, fencing, curve. Additionally, there are no speed breakers, required warning signages etc. near the T-junction on Gatch access way as well as blacktop side. Inadequate practice of skill. The trailer driver applied harsh brake, suddenly maneuvered the vehicle to the left side to avoid hitting the third-party vehicle entering from the right side Gatch access way. Poor judgment. The third-party vehicle did not stop, despite not having the right-of-way, and suddenly entered the blacktop road. Inadequate monitoring/audit/inspection. There has not been appropriate/effective monitoring of the Gatch access way being used by the contractors. Lessons learned. Always be cautious of the sudden unsafe behavior of the other road users/vehicles. Practice defensive driving and refrain from the activities which may cause distraction while driving in the field. Always report the road hazards on the desert tracks to the appropriate authority for necessary corrective measures on time. Ensure regular monitoring of the Gatch roads, including the access ways from the contractors' camps, and provide suitable risk control measures to address the gaps/hazards identified. Fall from top of silo at liquid mud plant. What happened? Description of event. Plant operators were removing bolts from a handrail on top of a silo. The activity was conducted using a manlift, operated from the ground with 2 operators inside the manlift. While reaching the silo top, one operator, injured person/IP, decided to step onto the top of silo tank to have better access to the bolts. He connected both his lanyards onto the handrail, which broke, causing the IP to fall with it to the ground. He suffered head/back injuries. Why had it happened? Causes: severely corroded handrails used as anchor point. Crew didn't anticipate failure of handrail. Insufficient training for working at height. No recent audits/inspections were performed at facility. Work scope extended beyond planned activity as per the permit. Paper-based permit was used and all the 3 copies were attached together at site. Recommended actions: only work at height if you have completed work at height training. Identify an anchor point meeting required strength requirements as per HSE, OS, ST22 working at height standard. Only conduct activities clearly stated in the permit to work. Drill pipe joint dropped from rig floor to ground level at drilling rig AD 135, SB 634, in a SAB field. Incident description: during run and hole with third-party 2 7/8 drill pipe, with a fishbone bottom hole assembly, while handling joint number 6 on the rig floor. The drift rabbit was lodged inside the drill pipe and crew were attempting to dislodge it by hammering. However, the drift rabbit remained stuck. Subsequently, decision was made to lay down the joint by the hydraulic catwalk. As soon as the driller attempted to lift the joint, it suddenly slipped from the elevator to the rig floor, approximately 1 foot, and finally dropped to the ground level, 30 feet, near the V-door area. No injury to personnel and no equipment damage reported due to this incident. Initial findings: improper use of equipment, using elevator directly with 2 7/8 drill pipe instead of using lifting sub due to insufficient elevator shoulder on drill pipe, inadequate equipment, outer diameter of the drill pipe box and the inner diameter of the elevator were almost the same size, measuring 3 1/16 inches. Routine activity without thought. The rig crew did not measure and record ID, OD, and fish neck of tubulars in tally book. Immediate actions recommendations: operation was suspended and a safety stand down was conducted covering all the ADNOC drilling fleet. It is recommended to a. Implement a standard tubular tally format to ensure all necessary details are documented and endorsed by the driller, drilling supervisor, and rig manager. B. Reinforce the third-party installation checklist for any equipment or tool received at the rig site. C. Conduct IWAP meeting to thoroughly review the task procedures, ensuring the correct tools and equipment are identified for safe execution of the task. Rig management to review the current IWAP format to reflect the same. D. Review all tubular handling JSAs to reflect the step-by-step procedures addressing all risks and mitigations. Roustabout left leg caught between drilling pipe bundles at rig deck. What happened? Description of event: deck crew and crane operator were working on cantilever deck for laying down the drill pipes and arranging into bundle. While the crane operator lifted the bundle 1 foot height to install a clamp and tag line, the bundle swung towards the IP, injured person. The IP moved away and tripped over by another bundle of drill pipes placed on the catwalk. The leg of the IP was caught between the drill pipes on the catwalk and suffered leg injury. Why had it happened? Causes: expired/incorrect PTW lift plan in use. Crane operator is not competent to perform the task effectively. Not fully certified with limited English proficiency. 2 bundles were racked on the catwalk, creating an unstable bundle/trip hazard. Crane operator picked up the drill pipes bundle without signal from the bank's man. Crane boom was not centered above the center of gravity. Recommended actions: plan a stand down to refresh teams of the following: lifting plan endorsement/approval, permit validity, job roles, stop work authority, life-saving rules, drive the process of having and using only specific JSAs, non-generic, and approved lifting plans are in use. Stabbing bell dropped to rig floor. What happened? While making connection, the stand was pushed by the wind, which was not allowing it to line up with the stabbing bell on the top drive. Therefore, the driller rotated the elevators to line it up. He did not see the tool joint due to the position of the bales and followed hand signal from the derrick man. The stabbing bell came in contact with the top of the stand, causing the stabbing guide to roll out of the brackets and resulting in breaking the secondary retention slings and causing the stabbing bell to drop down to the rig floor. Consequences: dropped objects, property/equipment damage, operation interruption. Why did it happen? Improper communication between the driller and derrick man. The severe wear of the stabbing bell and stabbing bell's guide rails was not properly. TDS drop inspection did not cover thorough checks as stipulated by OEM. What should be done to prevent reoccurrence? Clear communication between the driller and derrick man. Disassemble the stabbing bell and check for internal wear. PM system needs to include a work order for check for internal wear on the stabbing bell and retainer plates based on OEM recommendations. Areas where improvement is needed. Workers must always maintain awareness of the surroundings, understand the work permit scope, conditions, and limitations. Work supervisors must define the scope of work and determine if a work permit is required. Frequently check the worksite to ensure compliance with work permit conditions. Once the work is complete, confirm that the worksite has been returned to a safe condition. Contractor shall stringently follow rig floor red zone. Struck by manual tong. What happened? The operation was preparing to make up the bottom hole. Assembly, BHA. One floorman, injured person, turned his back away from the rotary table while the assistant driller, AD, was moving the manual tongs around the pipe. While moving the tong, the AD looked down at his feet to verify his footing. When the IP turned back, the tong struck his mouth, resulting in one broken tooth and one cracked tooth. Consequences: work-related injury, operation interruption. Why did it happen? AD was not paying attention while performing the task. Hazards of the manual tongs operation were not recognized. The crew had little knowledge of the dangers of rotating equipment/tools. What should be done to prevent reoccurrence? Refresher trainings on hazard recognition shall be conducted for all crews. Crew members shall maintain hazard awareness while working on the manual tong. Understand that rotating equipment/tools has sudden movement. Areas where improvement is needed. Workers must always maintain awareness of the surroundings. Understand lines of fire and follow precautions associated with hazardous objects, equipment, substances, and other conditions. Stop work immediately if conditions change or a worker is in an unsafe location, and notify the supervisor. Work supervisors must confirm that all hazards are identified and controlled. Frequently check the worksite to ensure it is safe. Once the work is complete, confirm that the worksite has been returned to a safe condition. Search and rescue for stuck vehicle. What happened? A contractor field supervisor traveled from Harrod area to rig located in Tureka area. The vehicle got stuck 50 to 60 kilometers away from the rig site, since the field supervisor missed the designated skid road due to severe sandstorm. Since there was no network coverage in the area, the driver activated the panic button. Contractor Journey Management Center, JMC, notified Saudi Aramco foreman to provide support for search and rescue. The rig rescue team managed to locate the driver and found him inside the vehicle in good health. Consequences: potential loss of life. Why did it happen? The designated skid road was missed due to bad weather and poor visibility. What should be done to prevent reoccurrence? Wait until sandstorm is over. Ensure means of communication equipment such as satellite phone, Thurea, is available for any travel to rig sites with no network coverage, plan the trip, carry enough supplies, and stop the journey if the road or weather condition is not safe. Ensure all off-road survival equipment are available in the vehicles before any journey. Areas where improvement is needed, workers must understand and implement a journey management plan. Work supervisors must confirm that a journey management plan is in place, understood, and being followed. Struck by elevator rotator. What happened? While picking up and installing the hydraulic rotator for elevator using rig floor air tugger, the rotator was entangled in iron roughneck rail. This caused tension in air tugger wire, and due to buildup of stored energy, the rotator suddenly released and struck the eyepiece, helmet and safety glasses. Consequences: work-related injury, operational interruption. Why did it happen? No signalman to identify issues during lifting. The crew failed to recognize the rotator was entangled on the rail and continued lifting. Lack of supervision. IP positioned himself in line of fire. Stop work authority was not exercised. What should be done to prevent reoccurrence? All lifting operations shall have signalmen. Refreshing training for crew about line of fire, including stored energy. Arrange rig floor before lifting/transferring operation. Proper supervision to be implemented. Assess possible line of fires for each operation prior to start and use hand-free tool and tag lines for lifting operation. All crew to exercise stop work authority. Areas where improvement is needed, workers must always maintain awareness of the surroundings, understand line of fire and follow precautions associated with hazardous objects, equipment, substances, and other conditions. Work supervisors must confirm that signaling and communication methods are agreed upon and understood by all workers. Confirm that all hazards are identified and controlled. Fingertip amputation incident. What happened? While RIH casing, TRS crew supervisor, injured person, along with 2 operators and a rig hoist operator were adjusting the casing power tong height to position it right above the pin connection of the top joint in order to make it up with the bottom joint. While pushing the power tong toward the casing, IP's left hand holding the power tong handle was caught against the bottom edge of the top drive torque tube, TDS rail. As a result, IP sustained finger injury. Consequences: work-related injury, operational interruption. Why did it happen? Miscommunication between tong operator and other TRS crew members while adjusting the tong onto the casing. Pre-job toolbox meeting was held, but potential pinch point hazards were not discussed. What should be done to prevent reoccurrence? Emphasize to all TRS employees and rig crew the risk of pinch points and the significance of conducting joint hazard identification and job safety analysis. The persons in charge ensure that the combined JSA process is utilized in the safe planning of joint work activities and must involve both the site supervision and employees. Apply SWA upon noticing an unsafe act or unsafe condition related to the functionality of power tongs or TDS during running casing operations. The incident is still under investigation. Further recommendations will follow. Areas where improvement is needed, workers must understand lines of fire and follow precautions associated with hazardous objects, equipment, tools, and other conditions. Work supervisors must confirm that signaling and communication methods are agreed upon and understood by all workers. Confirm that all hazards are identified and controlled. Struck by manual tong. What happened? The operation was preparing to make up the bottom hole assembly. One floorman, injured person, turned his back away from the rotary table while the assistant driller was moving the manual tongs around the pipe. While moving the tong, the AD looked down at his feet to verify his footing. When the IP turned back, the tong struck his mouth, resulting in one broken tooth and one cracked tooth. Consequences: work-related injury, operation interruption. Why did it happen? AD was not paying attention while performing the task. Hazards of the manual tongs operation were not recognized. The crew had little knowledge of the dangers of rotating equipment/tools. What should be done to prevent reoccurrence? Refresher trainings on hazard recognition shall be conducted for all crews. Crew members shall maintain hazard awareness while working on the manual tong. Understand that rotating equipment/tools has sudden movement, areas where improvement is needed. Workers must always maintain awareness of the surroundings. Understand lines of fire and follow precautions associated with hazardous objects, equipment, substances, and other conditions. Stop work immediately if conditions change or a worker is in an unsafe location, and notify the supervisor. Work supervisors must confirm that all hazards are identified and controlled. Frequently check the worksite to ensure it is safe. Once the work is complete, confirm that the worksite has been returned to a safe condition.